In life and in Ravens OTAs, there are winners and there are losers, and we're going to break down 4 of each on today's show. Now, I do want to start with a disclaimer. It's the same disclaimer I give every single time we do a winners and losers segment. If someone is labeled a loser, I don't hate them, I don't think they suck, and I don't think I'm better than they are at football. This is just one of those deals that some people come out of the first couple of practices of OTAs and their stock looks a little bit higher than we anticipated. And some people come out of the first couple of OTAs and their stock is a little bit lower. That's what we're talking about on today's show. Make sure you guys, if you have not already, hit that thumbs up button because we're trying to get better every single year. June after June, July after July, we always want to be getting better. We always want to be improving. And I look back to last June, the most liked video in the entire month, 420 likes. Nice. Can we break that today on June 3rd? Can we set the record for June for this channel history? 500 likes. That's what we need. It starts with you. It's free. Not a better way to do it. Not a better reason to do it. Hit that thumbs up button. Alrighty, let's start with the winners. Keaton Mitchell, I have as one of my biggest winners over the past week. And he's a guy that kind of needed this, especially after how last year went. He tears his ACL his rookie year after he's having a phenomenal rookie year. And then when he came back in 2024, he kind of looked like a shell of himself. You could tell he was holding himself back. They were holding him back, but not anymore. Here's what he had to say about his status currently with his injury. I feel like I'm back better than when I first got here. It's going to be a movie for sure. And all I got to say is how unfair would it be for this offense to have an elite Keaton Mitchell, to have a Keaton Mitchell in his highest potential? Because you look at this running back room as it's currently constructed. Obviously, Derrick Henry's there. Derrick Henry's going to dominate. Justice Hill is such a great pass-catching back. You add in Keaton Mitchell to be the RB3 on this team, this might be the best running back room in football. And then that's not even mentioning all the pass catchers you have, the 2 tight ends, all the wide receivers, Lamar Jackson's ability with his legs, and then you add in Keaton Mitchell. What is going on? Shut it down. He's had a great couple of practices. Ryan Mink said this about the running back. Mitchell said he has set a personal record in all of his speed tracking analytics this offseason. That's pretty impressive for a player that hit 20.99 miles an hour during his rookie season on a 40-yard touchdown run. It was the fastest speed of any Ravens ball carrier that season. And I'm going to end it with Mitchell on this, okay? We all know that Justice Hill, the best part about him is his pass-catching ability. He doesn't give you as much in the just, straight run it off or hand it off, halfback dive, halfback draw, as a guy like most usual RB2s. Keaton Mitchell can be that and will be that if he stays healthy in 2025. The winner number 2, second winner of the list, attendance. Let's throw it back to grade school. Throw it back to high school. Let's talk attendance, not throw it back to college because nobody went to class during college. But it seems like these Baltimore Ravens are, okay? And it seems silly to put this on a list, to have attendance be one of the winners. But guys, this is what championship franchises look like. This is what championship franchises do. They practice when it's voluntary. They show up to things like this. And Morgan Adsit tweeted out a video of Isaiah Likely talking about the attendance. And on the bottom of that tweet, she says, I've been covering this team since 2011. I'm sure I missed a couple, but this is by far the best Ravens OTA attendance. Definitely during the Lamar Jackson era. They're showing up. They're proving that they care about this. These are voluntary. Again, they don't have to be here. The guys making $40, $20, $30 million a year are still deciding to practice, still deciding to put in the work because they know that they need it. And John Harbaugh was asked about their attendance, and he said, we all know what we're here for. We have a mission that we're trying to accomplish. To see the guys out there working as hard as they are and as hard as they have been means a lot. I love the way these guys work. And it seems like every team across the National Football League is missing big players at big positions in big leadership spots The Ravens aren't. Everybody is there. And guys, this is the difference between a loss or 2 or 3. This is the difference, okay, when it comes to the end of the season. It may sound dumb, but these small little days of preparation, this is what makes good franchises into great ones. Okay, speaking of great franchises, do you think they're going to have another great year? Let's play Vegas. I'm going to set the over-under at 11.5 wins. What are you taking? Give me the O for over, U for under. Let me know in the comment section down below. The third winner is Odafe Oweh. And I know that we've talked about Odafe Oweh a ton over the last couple of weeks. Okay, we've talked about his weight gain. He's added 20 pounds. And you can see right there, he looks like he's maybe a pound away from the NFL sending him a little container to pee in so they can test him for PEDs. But the big question that came off of all this weight gain, the big question I posed when we originally talked about it was, will it take the speed away? Because I'm not saying Odafe Oweh is a speed rusher, but I'm also not saying he's a power rusher, right? We know that a ton of his sacks and a ton of his production come from his explosiveness. They come from his speed. And sure, he's got great moves as well. He's strong as well. But if you add 20 pounds, you think it might take away from the speed aspect of it. Well, Ryan Bink doesn't think so. Oweh looks like a player ready to wreck offensive lines after adding 15 to 20 pounds of muscle this offseason. Despite the additional weight, which would help him in the run and to finish with power at the top of his pass rushes, it looks like Oweh hasn't lost a step of explosion. And if that's the case, then I absolutely love it, okay? If he hasn't lost a step of explosion, if he's still fast, if he's still quick, and he also adds in that power, like, sign me up. That's phenomenal. And he also just, like, when he spoke to the media, sounded so motivated. It seemed like that loss to Buffalo impacted him more than almost anybody on the entire team. And partly because he only had 1 tackle in the entire game. He knows he needs to be better. He knows he can be better, okay? Excited to see it in 2025. The last winner on this list is Devontez Walker. Another guy we've talked about briefly over the past couple of, past week or so. Devontez Walker has just been playing really, really good ball, okay? He's been catching touchdown passes. He's been catching things over the middle. And this is a guy who only got 1 catch in all of 2024. And I get it. I know it resulted in a touchdown. That was awesome. But, like, the jump he's taken from year 1 to year 2, so far from what we've seen, from what we've heard in OTAs, is really, really big. And I don't think he's a guy coming into 2025. He didn't have a roster spot just, like, ready to go for him. He's a guy who came in having to earn it. And it seems like through the first week of OTAs, from what he's been doing, whether it's connecting with Cooper Rush or connecting with Lamar Jackson, scoring touchdowns, making catches, that he's doing it, okay? Really, really pumped to see him get a couple more targets this season. You tell me, okay? I just gave you my 4. I need you to give me 1. Name 1 winner in Ravens OTAs in the comment section down below. Coming up, we got Ravens losers to talk about. Make sure that you guys are sticking around for that. Also, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and join us right here on the Ravens Rundown. But before we go any further, make sure you guys go to chatsports.com/purple t-shirt. You can pick up this purple Ravens shirt. $15 off, okay? It was $35. Now it's $20. A phenomenal deal. I know because of inflation, with everything that's been going on with our country over the past, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 100 years, things are getting a little expensive, okay? You can get this t-shirt for just $20. You can't find that anywhere else, I promise you. chatsports.com/purple t-shirt. That's the link. You'll find that in the comments and description of today's video. Go support us, support the Ravens, support our friends over at Fanatics by clicking on that and getting yourself a shirt. All right, let's talk about Andrew Voorhees. He is my first loser of today's episode. And we knew and we know that coming into 2025, Andrew Voorhees is not a lock at that left guard spot. He was the starter last year for about 3 games. Then he got injured. Patrick McCarry was ushered in. And Andrew Voorhees played 15 snaps for the rest of the year. And coming into 2025, Everybody's under the impression it's probably going to be him unless Ben Cleveland has something to say about it. Ryan Mink said the following: Cleveland shouldn't be forgotten in the competition to be the starting left guard. After being a presumed leader for the job last year, he didn't get many practice reps at the position. That has changed at the start of this year's OTAs as he looks to compete with Andrew Voorhees for a starting job. And when it comes to that left guard spot, at the end of the day, I don't really have a preference over the two. It could be Voorhees. It could be Cleveland. It could be anybody in the world. It could be myself, for all that I care. I just want the best left guard to win the job. I want this to be the strongest offensive line that we can try to make it. Up next in the loser category is David Ojabo, a guy we've spent a decent bit of time talking about over the last, entirety of the offseason, ever since Mike Green was selected in the second round for the Baltimore Ravens. And that's kind of where David Ojabo comes in as a loser, is the edge rushers look really, really good. Okay? And on top of that, apparently Odafe Oweh looks great. He's a guy you got really nothing from this year. And I didn't think Odafe Oweh was going to lose a roster spot. But I think it's just even more bad news for Ojabo that Oweh has come in and he's performed really, really well. And this is just a really, really, and I'll say that again, really crowded room. I have no clue how many guys they're going to take with the final roster, okay? Probably 5 edge rushers, and you got 4 that are pretty much guarantees, and you're going to have to decide between Tavius Robinson and David Ojabo. And right now, everybody is looking really, really good. So, for David Ojabo, some things are going to have to change over the next couple of weeks if he wants to make sure that he's one of those guys with a roster spot when it comes to roster cutdown day. Make sure to get down in the comment section and name a loser for me at Ravens OTAs, okay? I've already named 2, about to name 2 more. Now it's your turn to get down below. Let's talk about Dayton Wade. And this pains me a lot, okay? I love Dayton Wade. I really, really do. If you watched this channel at all last year in August, I probably said Dayton Wade's name on it every single week. Here's a screenshot from my episode in late August. You can see me down there. Joey, Wade has done enough to make the roster. I thought that he was going to make the roster last year. I wanted him to make the roster last year. I thought he deserved to make the roster last year, but he didn't. That was their decisions, not mine, obviously. And so you kind of come into this next year and say, okay, Deontay Hardy is off the team. The pass seems wide open. Well, enter LeJohntay Wester. Ryan Mink said Wester could fly. They showed that hauling in a long touchdown pass. He juggled it at first, but held on for the score. The 6th-round pick also made a tough grab over the middle, despite the pass being tipped by undrafted linebacker Jay Higgins. And it feels like the same way it was between Deontay Hardy and Dayton Wade this past season, it's probably how it's going to be next season for LeJohntay Wester and Dayton Wade. They're going to be the ones battling out for a final roster spot. And I have a feeling they're probably going to give it to the guy that they just spent a 6th-round selection on. Speaking of last year's draft, or this year's draft, let's say, Emory Jones Jr. comes in at my final loser of this episode. Jones was one of the only absentees, was one of the only guys not at practice. And for a guy who was a 3rd-round selection and a guy who's a rookie, you kind of just want to be there, right? You can take a look at all the absentees. Daniel Fa'alele, Emory Jones, Kyle Van Noy, Jake Hummel, Chidobe Awuzie, and Ardarius Washington, the only 6 Ravens who weren't in attendance. And with Voorhees' spot up for grabs, okay, that combined with the fact that Emory Jones is a rookie, okay, those 2 things in and of itself point to the fact that OTAs and him being there would be really, really beneficial. I'm not going to say it's going to take away from anything for his future, for his career, for anything else, right? I'm just saying, I bet he really wishes he could be in attendance, and it would be really good for him if he were. Make sure you guys are following me on social media. You can find me at Joey Petersen 8 and on Instagram at Joey Petersen, both platforms, Twitter and IG. And make sure you guys are subscribed. We'll be live later today, producer Jack and myself. We got an awesome live show planned for you guys. So make sure to never miss a moment. Don't miss that. Hit that sub button and turn on notifications.